There are disappearances that begin with a clear moment, a last sighting, a final decision, a point where everything changes. And then there are cases where that moment isn't so clear, where the timeline stretches, fragments, and slowly begins to unravel. This is one of those cases. This is the disappearance of Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon. Welcome to Where the Trail Ends, where we follow the story until it disappears. In the spring of 2014, Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon traveled from the Netherlands to Panama. Both in their early 20s, they had planned the trip as a mix of adventure and purpose. They wanted to explore, to experience something new, and to volunteer with local children. By all accounts, they were prepared. They researched the area, they planned their stay. They kept in regular contact with family back home. Photos from the early days of their trip show two friends enjoying the experience, smiling, relaxed, completely unaware of what was coming. On April 1st, 2014, Kris and Lisanne set out for a hike near the town of Boquete. The trail they chose, known as El Pianista, was considered manageable, not extreme, not dangerous. A path used by both locals and tourists. They left in the afternoon. They were last seen heading up the trail, dressed casually, carrying a small backpack. Inside that backpack were a few personal items: a camera, two phones, some water. Nothing unusual. At first, everything seemed normal. Photos taken on their camera show them smiling along the trail, standing near scenic overlooks, the kind of pictures anyone might take on a quiet hike. But then, the photos stop, and something else begins. Later that day, the first emergency call was placed. One of the girls dialed 911. The call didn't go through. Over the next several days, multiple attempts were made to contact emergency services. Both phones were used. Sometimes one, sometimes the other. But most of the calls failed. No connection, no help. And then the pattern changes. The phones are turned on briefly, then turned off again, as if someone was trying to conserve battery or waiting for the right moment. Then, after several days, the phones go silent completely. When the girls didn't return, concern quickly grew. Search efforts began. Local authorities, volunteers, and eventually larger teams combed through the jungle. The terrain was dense, difficult, easy to get lost in. Days turned into weeks, and still, nothing. Then, nearly 2 months later, something was found. A backpack. It had been discovered along a riverbank by a local woman. Inside were the girls' belongings, their phones, their camera, and everything inside was dry, undamaged, as if it had been placed there, carefully. When investigators examined the camera, they found something unsettling. Dozens of photos, some taken during the day, but many taken at night. In complete darkness, the images were disorienting. Flashes of rock formations, dense vegetation, close-up shots of unknown objects. Nothing that clearly explained where they were or what was happening. Some of the photos appeared almost random. Others felt intentional, as if someone was trying to document something or signal for help. One photo in particular stood out. A partial image of the back of a head, hair illuminated by the flash, but no face, no clear identity. Just a fragment of a moment that raised more questions than answers. As the investigation continued, more discoveries were made. Scattered remains, personal items, but nothing that provided a complete picture. No definitive explanation of how the girls died. No clear timeline of their final days, only pieces. Theories quickly formed. Some believe the girls became lost, disoriented in the jungle, unable to find their way back. That the phone activity reflects a desperate attempt to survive. Others believe something else happened, that they may not have been alone, that the photos, the timing, the condition of the backpack don't fully add up. But no theory has ever been confirmed. What makes this case so haunting isn't just the disappearance itself, it's the evidence left behind. The calls that didn't connect, the phones that flickered on and off, the photos taken in the dark. With no clear explanation, it's a story told in fragments, in pieces that don't quite fit together. Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon set out for a hike on a trail that many had walked before. A normal day, a familiar path, and somewhere along that path, something changed. Something that turned a simple hike into a mystery that still hasn't been solved. Years later, there are still no clear answers. Only theories, only questions, and a series of moments captured in the dark that no one has ever been able to fully explain. Thank you for watching. This is Where the Trail Ends.